So the big biochar experiment all started as a bit of fun between myself, Dr. Russell Laborie, and Dan Beber, Dan Beber's from Earthwatch. So they've got experience in citizen science, and we're all interested in investigating a little bit, exploring citizen science project. And it quickly became a nationwide experiment, to our great delight. The initial aims were to start a large-scale experiment on the use of biochar in allotments and in gardens. And we're aiming to gather quantitative data on productivity and qualitative data on plant and soil health of fruit varieties grown in the UK. And we wanted to combine these data with existing information on weather and soil quality to understand the effects of biochar on the productivity of plants across a range of soil types and weather patterns. So this may have been a little bit ambitious, but nonetheless we set up a website, a good starting point, where we explained what we wanted, what we set out to do, and what biochar was clearly, how to participate in the experiment. We sent a free bag of biochar to anyone who wanted to participate, so they just had to log on to the website and request a bag, and the bag was sent out to them. It was publicized through blogs, magazine articles, word of mouth, Twitter, anything we could find, really. We set up a clear methodology, so just grab a bag of biochar, have a 1 meter square with biochar, 1 meter square without, and grow your crop, send us the results. It was quite simple. Then we collected data through the web, or through, you could either fill in your form directly or print it out and send it to us. We set out these questions, which may have been a bit too much information to ask, but we were stressing that you needed to answer the questions with red dots. And I'm realizing now none of you can read this, right? So we had treatment, whether it was a control, compost plus biochar, biochar, or fertilizer plus biochar. We wanted people to experiment with different models. The plot area, the biochar application rate, the compost or fertilizer application, what type of mix they provided, the date of sowing and date of harvest, plant species name, and most importantly, the weight in grams. So we wanted to partition this into above ground, below ground, to understand the allocation of carbon to above or below ground, but that would have been too much. So we just asked for a weight of the crop and a weight of the whole plant. We sent out 344 bags, so the publicity did work, and we got a lot of bags out there, a lot of interest. But 2012 was a terrible growing year, and we only had 73 participants who responded. So I think only 73 participants actually carried out the experiment. 44 participants sent in actual data, and we could only use 38 results because of things that weren't clear, or mainly things that weren't well explained. Nonetheless, the results we did get were good, and we got, I think the participants who sent in their results did so rigorously, and the results we got are robust, and that's an important thing to be able to trust the results, obviously. So we got some good results on beetroot, for example, impressive results on radishes, and not so good results also, of course. We ran into some problems working with non-scientists, of course, because, for example, this person, who should have known better because he works in my department, sent me this photo and was very proud to say that the untreated product was bigger than the biochar product. But then when I asked for the weight in gram, he hadn't weighed it. So these are the results we did get. In black, you have a mean of the total. in pale gray in the background, I put all the data points we have, so you get an idea of the spread of the data, the variance. And the size of these dots is in kilograms the weight of the produce. So you get a bit of an idea. Here at the top we have potatoes and beetroots and squash. At the bottom we'll have lettuce and pak choy and other results like this. And this is the standard error. So you can see that there is an increase in the biochar compared to the control, but the increase is not significant. And with so little data and such a wide variety, as Saran was saying yesterday, I'm comparing potatoes to lettuce, so of course there's going to be a wide variety. It's impossible to reduce the variance. But I think if we had more data, we would get a smaller variance. And all in all, we found a 15% increase in the biochar compared to the control. So we still got quite a good result and robust result. This is just another way of visualizing the data we have. In pale gray, I put all the points of the control, and in green, the biochar points, just so you see all the information we have. And these are the plant types we got. And as you can see here, we don't have many replicas, so we'll have replicas for beans, potatoes, and onions, but even 2 or 3 replicas is not enough to have a conclusion. And this is just another way of looking at the analysis. I have, it's all in relative terms. I have biochar minus control. So anything that's to this side of the 0 line is a positive result, and these are the negative results. So you see there's quite a strong positive result for squash or shallots. Yeah, you can see for yourself. These are the plant types. But then it shows the importance of having replicas, of course, because beans have a few negative results and a positive. We just need more data. But in terms of preliminary results, it shows that we're onto something. In terms of citizen science, we learned quite a lot of lessons this year, and we'd like to continue. The large-scale call for participants was very successful, and in terms of data quality, the experiments were carried out in a very meticulous way, and data gathered was reliable. But some of the questions need to be rephrased, and that we can work on, and we know now where to target our work. And citizen science in general is really low-cost option, so even though we didn't get such a good response rate, and we were very unlucky with the slugs and the weather, we still had some response, and the total study was costed £4,000 over a year and a half. So I think we should make the most of the 344 bags we sent out and continue this for another year. And we need further analysis, of course, to understand what motivates people to send in their results and how we can make the most of it. I wanted to just give you a bit of a background of where all this stems from. I'm a tropical ecologist, and my day job is to work in Amazonia on carbon cycling in tropical forests. And we have plots I work for the Global Ecosystems Monitoring Network, and we have plots all around the world. These are our South American plots. And within these, we have these plots on terra preta sites. And this is where the interest started. Most of eastern Amazonia is very infertile. So these are the methodologies we use. We monitor the carbon cycle, very detailed all around them, from leaves, stems, roots, to plant respiration, carbon inputs, carbon outputs. I won't go into the detail. But we look at the end result we get is productivity. So this is partitioned into different components, but what you're interested in is the total productivity of the plants. And Western Amazonia is usually very infertile, and our terra preta plot is one of the most fertiles we see. Similarly, if we look at the gross primary productivity, which is the net primary productivity plus the respiration, so this is all the photosynthesis the plant produces material. The eastern Amazonian sites are less fertile than the western ones, but again, the terra preta site is still very fertile. It's just too much detail. It's good.
Any questions? Okay, we have a question over here. You can hold the microphone quite close.
Just out of interest, did you ask whether your members for that experiment, whether they were conventional or organic gardeners?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
So
Whether they were conventional or organic growers.
So you don't know if there was some kind of split?
Oh no, well I have the data from, I know what they mixed in with the biochar.
Right.
So it was all organically grown.
It was all organic?
Yes,
okay,
yes, yes,
great,
yes.
thank you.
Where did you get your biochar from for all these bags?
Oxford Biochar supplied all the biochar, but we're open to having other types of biochar. This was just pure biochar, so this time we were asking people to do their own mixes, but it'd be great in a further study to have more different types of biochar.
Cecile, how did you make sure that the responses that you get were not biased by people only sending you back good results?
Yeah, we've insisted a lot that we needed bad results, and we kept on saying we don't have enough negative results, please. And
They didn't send you results. No, you didn't get back.
Yes.
I sent you some photographs. You didn't. No, I didn't, because of a pigeon that I didn't send you results.
oh, you didn't? I thought you did. Isn't the Biochar yours? The Biochar isn't yours? Was it? I did get some Biochar. Yes, we did. We followed. We sent mails all summer. Yeah, I'll look into it. But we did follow quite a lot. It took a lot of work to get responses.
Okay, I've just one more question before we move on.
It's just a quick comment, actually. I did take part in it as well, but my results were late coming in, so that's why you didn't actually have them on your map, I guess. I think if you're doing it again, we need more instructions.
Okay.
Because I didn't realise till I came to fill in the form on the computer that you wanted roots and tops. And I hadn't weighed that, and I'd collected the information over a period of time. So more instructions right up front would be great.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's great. Well, let's hope we can carry on the big biochar experiment.
Yeah,
Sounds like
it would be
it's,
good to have a discussion forum, I guess, on the website, so that you can tell us things like this, because it all looks very clear to us, but maybe it's not.
Okay, thank you very much, Cecile.